Here is a way that you can share the gospel with your friends, someone you want to share salvation with. This is called the conversation circles. First thing you need to know is that God has a design. And God's design was for man to have fellowship with Him, to be able to worship Him, to be able to communicate with Him. And everything was fine until something happened in the Garden of Eden. And that thing that happened is a word we use. It's called sin. And what sin does is it says, I want to do things my way, not God's way. And when this happened, what took place is man entered into a stage called brokenness. Empty, alone, separated from God. In this state of brokenness, he wanted out of brokenness. And so he tries a lot of different things. He will try to do works. But his good works, they don't lead to God. He tries religion. That does not lead to God. To find happiness, he might try drugs and alcohol. That does not lead to God. He tries all these different things, but they don't lead to God. So God looks at man and says, how can I move man back into a relationship with me? And so he comes along and he uses, and I'm going to use the verse John 3:16. Which says, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So God looked at man and says, they can't do it with all these things they're trying. No matter how much they work at it, it doesn't work. So I'm going to send Jesus. I'm going to send Jesus to die on the cross for their sins and to cover their sins. And we can break this sin barrier if they will do two things. If they will repent, and if they will believe. Now believe, what does that mean? It means that you're going to trust God, you're going to obey God, and you're going to worship God. And if you're tired of this brokenness stage and you want to move back to God's design, here's what you got to do. Repent and believe in Jesus, and then live your life following Him, being a disciple. And you can enter back into God's design. Here's one of the things that's important to know. As a believer, once you have Christ in your heart, if you find yourself broken again, and you find yourself in sin, repent, believe, and come back into the presence of God.